My name's Kristin Thomas. I'm lucky to be the host of this weekly interview show. Quick reminder that we have a Facebook group that follows up so that we can post pictures and links to anything that we talk about, and you can see who's coming up next. Also, remember it's recorded, so if anybody you know missed it, or if you missed any part of it, immediately it goes to IGTV on Supconnect's, right where you are right now, Instagram channel, and then it's saved to YouTube, both on Supconnect's channel and on mine, which is KT Outside. Great to have you today. Teri Carlin, my friend, is who we're going to talk to in just a moment. She and her husband own a store in Tempe, Phoenix area, Arizona, and quite a journey, both their personal stand-up paddling and the store. Recently, they were selected as Supconnect's Store of the Year, which is very exciting. Background, besides Arizona, I think over 20 years, California, Australia comes into play also. Lots to talk about. And the fun fact that I want you to try to guess that she said she's going to get in trouble with Corey, her husband. But which rock star has Teri Carlin kissed? I love that one. Sorry. Couldn't pass it up. So these have been going on now. I think this is about like the 22nd interview, perhaps, something like that. Sorry. Always trying to do two things at once. So thanks to those who have joined us, and we look forward to those who will be watching it recorded. That's always fun too. Let's see. Don't see her here yet. Might have to give away more of her secrets. Having a store, specialty retail, is definitely an interesting challenge at this point in time. Let's see if get there. Got Anna and Chris, and thanks all for being here. Hopefully some high fat stick boards, Red Dragon Adventures. It's so funny, Instagram names. I have to memorize these. There's Sarah. That's right. I'm supposed to wave at all you guys. These are fun. Anyway, you're welcome to ask questions here. We have some questions that were posted from earlier. And there she is. Without further ado, add Teri in and start chatting about what stand-up paddle life is like. And there we are in the store. I love it.
Am I too early?
No, you are not. You are right on time. Thank you. Thanks so much for joining us. This is going to be fun. I had to talk her into this a little bit, had to twist your arm. And definitely we couldn't get your husband on here. He doesn't like the spotlight at all. But so many reasons why it's important. And I hope you, I know you're open about sharing everything, your journey, both as a paddler and with the store. Let's get started with maybe the store.
I just don't want to be too open, I think. Sometimes I'm a little too transparent, but
no, it's okay. Well, we have to start with that specialty retail itself is really challenging right now. And then we're in the middle of this COVID thing, which has really made stores.
I know I'm feeling very naked right now without my mask on. This is really weird.
I know, but we're solo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you've had to really pivot, and you've made a lot of adjustments and changes to make it work for you guys. But let's back up and talk about you first. So kind of your water story, and where did you first find stand-up paddling? What got you hooked?
Yeah, right. Let's see, go back at least 10 years ago, we just on vacation, just like a lot of people. We were in Newport Beach on vacation from Arizona. We went back to visit family and rented a paddleboard on Balboa Island for the weekend, or the week, I guess, and we loved it. It was awesome. And at the time, I think my kids were young, so it gave me a break. Like, I wasn't having to like scramble around and change after them. But no, it was just really nice, and it was easy. I think that people just get scared that, oh, I can't do that. That's too hard. I can't do that. But if you have the inertia or the initiative just to try it, you've got it. It's so much easier than people think. So
yeah,
what was it? Yeah, we paddled through Newport Harbor, which probably is pretty treacherous water in the summertime anyway, and we nailed it. It was fun.
Very good. And so did the idea from the store come pretty early when you realized here was this really versatile watercraft, and boy, it was
Yeah.
easy, and we both love it. Because I
Yeah.
know
I mean,
you were kind of
yeah.
into the speed things, right? Weren't you like jet skiers and more the motor
Well,
side of water?
we have a ski boat. We had jet skis, so our water sports were pretty limited to like that kind of water activity since we moved to Arizona. But um, yeah, we tried to look for to buy a paddleboard, and that was what did it. It was we couldn't. There was nobody in Arizona, and what was available was like chain store stuff. It was super expensive. And looking back now, it was. I remember there were these $2,000 touring boards at Sports Chalet that were like, there's no way we were going to buy that. We had no idea what we were getting into. And we spent hundreds of miles searching up and down the coast of California. We'd go visit family. We'd go shop for paddle boards. It seemed like every time we were going there. And it was like, this is crazy. We need to figure this out and
Yeah.
make this accessible for people like us where we live.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you were doing that at an important time, and you were early adopters, 2010. And, it had hit Southern California and Florida and a few places, but definitely wasn't everywhere in the US. So that's really cool that you brought it to Arizona. So when did you guys open your shop?
we started our business in 2013, and we started out of our garage, like Amazon did, but we're better.
That's right.
And then we actually moved into a full-on shop at the end of 2014. So, and then we've moved again to another shop since then, about 18 months ago. And it's like 3 times the size, and we're already full. So
Pretty recently. Well, you guys are just involved in every aspect of the sport through the shop and through your own interests. So we'll start with racing because that's kind of fun. And you and I don't know each other necessarily just from there, but that definitely has been part of, I know to you and I both, the community is so valuable, and racing is part of that community and building community. So we get to see you out here in California, but you've put on races. I've been out there to a race. So talk about kind of your racing history. Both you and Corey race, and some favorites maybe.
yeah, no, we just started. There was a little local race here. We decided to participate in, and I was just going to go watch. I was just wanted to check it out, and it was so cool to see the whole community get involved. And it was everybody that had just got a paddleboard and they had signed up for this race. And I'm like, well, if they're going to do it, I've got to do it. So I signed up for a race, just, a little bit, not with the right intention. I was going to really, get out there and practice. I had no idea what I was doing. And I did really well, and it was really fun, and it was really easy. And I just got the bug, and I started looking into getting better race boards and things that were going to make me faster and technique. And I was practicing with the boys because there weren't a whole lot of girls around, so I was having to keep up with the boys. So for a while, I was pushed a little harder, I guess. And I've never been an athletic person like my whole life. So this was something that made me do something for me. And the races, I think I love the competitive part of the races. I never knew I was a competitive person at all. And I have to think back a year and a half because the last year and a half is just crazy. So when we do races now, I'm a participant. I don't get real crazy at having to, be the best or beat this person or get strategic with divisions and entries and registrations and all that stuff, because I know that does happen. But you go to a race, you get to see all your friends, the community's there, everybody's doing the same thing. You get to celebrate the finish at the end, and it's awesome. And everybody shares story. You watch other people's techniques. You gain so much out of it as an individual paddler, but then it's fun to be on the water and cheering people on. It's, like, come on, Abby, I know you can do better. Go faster, So we all support each other.
Yeah. And agreed. A beautiful part of it. Well, you, through the store and through teaching, racing isn't the only thing, but I think you and I agree that it's this place that we get to go travel around and see our community. So it's kind of this means
It's
to
the
an end.
reward, I think. It truly is the reward for all the other hard work that we put into it, because we work hard. It gives us a goal.
But you, I know you like being team mom and gathering, and it's been so neat, like to see you guys in California. You come out as a group, you know, and you've encouraged other people to come with you. And again, some of them might have not planned to be racers or weren't athletes in their life and stuff, but it's part of being part of a family and a group and moving on. So you teach, I mean, you have every certification that I know of, I think. Right? I mean,
well, you go big or you go home. That's it.
So when you get people on the water, as we found, they do want to, you know, when they get hooked on it, they want to find, you know, is there community paddles? Is there sup yoga and sup fitness? All these different things that I know you guys offer through the store. And that's one of the really, really important things, I think, of specialty retail and of stores. And hopefully in this day and age of Amazon, and again, it's not just our industry, it's everywhere, where you don't have a connection when you buy something online, but they also don't have the education and they don't have knowledge of the stuff, and they don't have everything that goes with paddling. And if you get into it, well, even the basics before you get into it, you need the safety equipment, you need to know how to get the stuff on the board. So we've had these discussions because we're both board members of the SUP Industry Association, you know. How do we help people transfer from the Costco purchase that they walk out the door and they're enthusiastic, and we want them to have a good, positive experience so that they love it like we do. So hopefully they got the right equipment. I mean, that's the kind of part that's a little unnerving, is when they, you know, go and buy the kid size board for dad, who's a big guy, you know, and think, oh, I can't do this because they're on the right equipment.
And then they have a bad experience, but But we definitely want to invite those people to the shop. I mean, come see us. There's no board shaming here. Like we want to help people just get educated, because it's not just about the board. Your paddle is what makes you move. You have to have a life jacket. It's the law. You know, things people just don't know when you're buying a board from Costco. It comes in a box, therefore I'm done, you know, and people just don't know that.
Yeah.
So we, you know, show them everything from, you know, like our lakes, our local lakes. We don't have a whole lot of beaches where people can hang out. A lot of areas you have to launch and then just go paddle out. So people do carry a lot of gear on their boards. So, you know, we kind of educate them on what dry bags you want to use, phone cases actually that float, because your phone may be waterproof, but it's also going to be 50 feet down if you lose it off your board. So, you know, things like that. So just getting people educated, inviting them to come out. We do try to do a weekly meetup paddle at Tempe Town Lake all year long, but this summer has been brutal with temperatures. So we've been pretty hot. Having any excuse under the sun not to go, I guess, on a Tuesday night. But things will start cooling off and we'll get to go again. But just getting people involved and joining us.
Yeah, and finding what floats their boat, so to speak, and exploring. I know you talked about how you're California, and part of high school you lived in Australia, right? So you kind of had a coastal early upbringing, but then rivers and lakes. People think of Arizona, I think, as not having water, but I know that you said that was part of the change, was that, you know, you needed a new approach to exploring the water. And exploring waterways.
That's why, as part of our namesake too, Riverbound. We've always been
from? I'd never thought about that.
Yeah. So when my husband and I were dating, we used to ride jet skis, and so we would always go to the river, the Colorado River. We lived in Orange County, but we were there, it seemed like, every other weekend, and we were always riverbound. So then we moved here. There's a main river that goes basically through Phoenix called the Salt River. So all the lakes are made. The East Valley lakes, or the Tonto lakes, are all from that river. So the Salt River lakes. So we're still riverbound.
That's
just
really fun.
Paddlecraft.
You have a great name that I had never thought about it, but that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm wearing, speaking of being bound for the river,
yay.
I'm wearing another dam race, which is, for those of you who don't know it, it's right at the border of California and Arizona, where a lot of us meet up annually. Again, besides this crazy year that we're in right now, and it isn't happening officially anyway.
That's got to be one of my favorite races.
That is
yeah. I mean, I like them all. It's hard to say. It's like ice cream.
But when we get to stay, when it's a little bit of a destination enough that you have an excuse to spend a whole weekend instead of just a morning, there's so much more chance for interaction with your tribe, with your ohana. It's cool because it's downriver. It's very unique because you start in one. That's my thing now. Like, can you find a race that starts in one state and ends in the other? Because there are quite a few of them. Because rivers often are the borders between states, so it's kind of fun to, say I was in a race and it was in 2 states.
I know we're still going to work on the logistics of that half jack, the virtual race, because we could ultimately launch in California and in Arizona.
And a lot of people are really interested in that, so we need to keep talking about that one because I think that would be really special. Yeah. So besides certifications from, I don't know, WPA, right? And paddle fit and ACA, and you have some really specialty ones, and you've really, again, a hard part about being early adopters and being first, is that you have to break ground. And I know challenges to access for stores who want to bring people on the water. You have national park? I think you mentioned Tonto.
We're a Tonto National Forest outfitter. We're an outfitter with the Tonto National Forest. So we have lots of river rights to do classes, river runs, tours. We can do pretty much anything out on the forest lakes in our region. I assume
that took some work and, jump through some hoops, research, people
it was a lot of work. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say it took us about 6 months to get that application in, and a dissertation of sorts, and trying to submit everything that we thought they wanted to hear to get approved. And we got approved, and that was really nice. So,
well, I know, and you've been really creative too in different groups that you've reached out to. Like, I know you've done stuff with, I think, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
And don't they have a badge now?
So Girl Scouts, the older Girl Scouts actually get a badge. We do patches, which the badges go on their sash, but the patches they can put on their vest or on the back of their vest or something. So, we did partner with the Girl Scouts this year, but with COVID, everything kind of got canceled.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking right over there, my pile of Girl Scout patches that are waiting for new homes on vests, but we're going to have to wait until the fall when Girl Scouts releases that again, or possibly next year.
Yeah. And then certified to work with autistic folks.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a most recent certification?
That's
really neat. Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, we do have a lot of friends and family affected by autism in their household, and traveling is pretty burdensome. So a lot of people just don't like to travel. And the city of Mesa actually started the movement, and we're a member of the Visit Mesa Tourism. And they asked us about if we'd be interested, and I was like, well, of course, like, there's no question. So we went through the certification process, and now our shop is a certified autism travel center for tourism. And again, COVID kind of put a halt to the events that we had planned for this year. So we'll get there. We're excited about it. It's a really cool movement. And then the city of Mesa now is the first autism certified travel city in the world. So
really cool. We've learned through those of you who've been working at this for a while, travel and getting together with cities and the travel bureaus, and that has been presented, it seems like to me a natural, it should go hand in hand, but I know I live in a city where it's been really challenging. When you're new, when people don't know how it works or how you fit, which definitely has been an interesting part of stand-up paddleboarding because it's this hybrid surf kayak thing. Where do we put you? How do you, again, water access, somebody was telling me again that there's reservoirs that allow kayaks and canoes that don't allow stand-up paddleboards, and how that all works. So you've had to do a lot of the legwork in educating these groups. So it's great to hear that you're working, hand in hand with a tourism bureau from a city. I think that's super essential to making it all work. So some tips, maybe, if somebody wanted to open a store, maybe we start with mistakes. What mistakes, name a few mistakes to be avoided if you were,
Oh, we
now
don't
that
have
you
that
kind of
much
have hindsight.
time.
I think just the fact of where we are makes it easier in some ways, not the COVID thing and not, the challenge of specialty retail, but where stand-up paddling is now, probably easier to open a shop because everybody knows what it is, or most people do.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I suppose it's easy for anybody to open a paddleboard shop, just like selling spoons, I guess, if you really have a passion for it. But um, I think one of the things I really didn't value very much in the beginning was marketing, investing in marketing dollars, and really setting aside a good budget for stuff like that, because you can buy inventory, you can sell inventory, but how do people know you're there? How do people know that you are the best? Or how do people know they can trust you? That whole communication, I guess. So over the years, we've learned a lot. We've spent a lot of legwork and stuff, and we're still not up to par. I wish I had a better budget for that. But that's one of the areas where I wish, knowing what I know now.
Mm-hmm. So investing in marketing, yeah.
Investing in marketing. A lot of the things we had to go through. I have no regrets with any of the brands that we carried. I think everybody that we've worked with has been stellar over the years. I really like everything that we carry now.
Yeah.
Everybody, we've really created some amazing relationships, and truly these people that build the products are outstanding. So.
Yeah, well, let's weave that in, because equipment, you have really supported industry brands that support the industry, and that, and like you said, that create a good relationship with a store owner, which I think you would say is a tip and is very important, is to have a relationship with who you carry. So tell us some of the brands you're carrying these days. And
well, in the shop, let's see. Well, we carry, where Badfish is up there. We carry Infinity, SIC, Starboard. I'm going to be nervous and I'm going to forget somebody, I'm sure. Hobie, Fanatic, JP Australia, and I think that's a pretty good nutshell. And Corey, if you're watching and you're missing anything, post it in the comments.
Send that information along. Yeah.
But yes, I'm working on the Infinity e-ticket right now. This call, my phone's resting on the e-ticket, which is pretty awesome.
Fun touring board. I do think, yeah, just personally, if somebody asks me about if they want a good first board, I'm definitely steering them towards touring rather than a regular surf shape. For so long, it's been that flat board. I mean, it depends somewhat, but I do think some people didn't get that till later, but I think people appreciate having the glide and the piercing nose, and you can still get those that are really stable. They can be expedition boards or whatever. But that shape that's like a race, so that it has a good glide, but has some nice stability.
And which is perfect for our area. We're inland paddlers, so we don't have a lot of surf to surf. Mm-hmm. So having those touring boards have been really popular here. Again, because we just don't have those beaches. People have to go away from the shoreline, and they want to start exploring more. I mean, I love my local lakes. Canyon Lake is spectacular. We just did the virtual M2O on Canyon Lake, and we launched at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was spectacular. Like, the colors, everything changes, and it was after a rainstorm, so everything was really these rich, vibrant reds and greens, and it was really cool.
So neat.
You get to do that when you're on a touring board. You get to see it.
Which is all very good. Yes.
Yeah.
So looking back from...
Where'd you go? There you are.
Somebody calling. I put do not disturb. It just doesn't always work. Haven't quite figured that one out yet. Sorry about that. Yeah. Anything you would tell yourself, like looking from what you know now?
Let's see.
You kind of already said one when the mistakes about marketing budget, but
what I would know now, hire good people at the very beginning and budget it in, because we've acclimated ourselves so deeply into this business that
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we can't hire somebody that's going to do exactly what we want. So we have to let things go, and that's really, really hard. But
You need to
it
delegate for your sanity.
yes, yes, delegate for sanity. I'm going to put that on a poster.
Yeah. I'm telling you that as your friend. But it is
Yes,
hard,
delegate.
and that's, you want other people who are working there to share that passion, because that is what's the most special about specialty retail, and people who care about the shop and the product and the experience, is that it's you and your knowledge and what you can help lead them to. Um,
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. I mean, I left corporate America, pretty much an HR office management background. So I was having to deal with a lot of people that were um, not happy all the time or entitled for certain things. And not everybody, but you have a lot more of that kind of emotional distress. And
mhm.
in my world now, I went from a very black and white world to now a very gray world where I can kind of tell people what they want to hear because it makes me happy, it makes them happy, and I'll match them up with something, or I'll get them in here. Hey, yeah, don't worry about not being able to do that yet. We're going to do that later. Right now, let's work on this, and we build a relationship, and we build trust, and it's totally a different world. It's
Yeah.
totally a different world. Do I miss the paycheck? Yes, I do miss I do miss that. But what we get out of what we're doing is by far pretty rad.
Hmm. Some freedom.
So
Yeah.
that might make me cry. But yeah, we're pretty stoked.
Don't cry, but it is pretty special, what all that we do. You, in building the store and offering all these different things, what have you found is the most popular? Does it come and go? You said you have a weekly meetup, but I know you offer things like fitness and yoga, I think in swimming pools, right? And stuff, and through hotels, and like you
You
found
know,
so many interesting avenues to get on the water. Like what are your most popular type classes? Just a beginner class or?
just beginner classes, truly. People just want to get out. And once they get on the water and they start paddling after 15 minutes, you almost feel like the lesson's done. They've mastered it at this point. So we work on skills, but it's mostly the beginning lessons. And
Yeah.
then we do some fitness classes out at the lakes. We do on the pool. We're always on a quest for water, like, just getting access to the water, getting people out there. So doing the fitness classes in the pool was always really easy, with reference to putting, like, loading the boards and logistics and carrying everything to a close proximity to the store. And working like with a demographic that really doesn't need to stand up paddleboard. They're there to experience something different. And so, yeah. And then we do events out at the lake too. So, and we do live in Arizona, so we do have wind. So we have to plan around these things. So I've created all kinds of tethering systems and anchoring systems and buoys, and just so we can make it an easy paddle to the location, click on, do your class, unclick, paddle back, and well, sometimes we can get 3 or 4 groups on one day just doing kind of the
Yeah,
same fun thing.
that's
So,
amazing. Sometimes you tell me about your day and how many different groups you've had, and it's like, wow,
oh yeah,
exhausted just thinking about it. So we mentioned what a challenge it's been to be a store right now in a time when stores were shut down and every state has different rules and the rules are changing all the time. I know you guys worked hard to meet the expectations and to do it in a good way. Talk a little bit about what you've had to do, and then are there any good lessons learned from this, or is it all just hard work? Is there things, have
you
you
know what?
learned anything
Yeah,
from it that you might do the same going
yeah.
forward?
The first thing that comes to mind is that we've learned to overcome anything, like legit. There, we've been hit with so many roadblocks this season. I mean, COVID is just one of them. And when, the first round of closures came through, we were very scared. we, as a business, we had already taken delivery of all of our 2020 inventory. So we were sitting on a lot of stuff, and it was very nerve-wracking. Then our governor deemed outdoor activities as essential. So we slowly started incorporating rentals and so on. And forgive me, I have a fluff on my eye, and my hands are clean, I promise. And then with the showroom being closed, people wanted to buy things, and we were sitting on all this inventory. We're like, we've got to figure something out. So we just started doing appointments only. Mm-hmm. And at the time, nobody was wearing masks, but everybody was wearing gloves, so we were handing out gloves and doing all of that. We finally figured out a process, and it was working really well. Like, I really love the appointments because people come in wanting to buy. Yeah. And we were focused. They had our 100% attention. So it worked out really, really well. And, there were days where I had maybe 5 customers, but I had 5 really good sales. And we wouldn't normally have that. I'd be sitting here from open to close and waiting for people to come in, and they all come in waves normally. So that was really cool. And then just as time goes by, we just started getting more and more and more. And we have some restrictions in the showroom, some safety guidelines, of course, still, and all of our sanitation stuff and gel and masks required. But once we're out on the water, you're no closer than maybe 10 feet to another paddler. So I went out for a group event last night, and I had no mask on, and I felt naked. It was it was really weird, but it was legitimately only the second event we've been able to do since March. Yeah. Because with everything else, one of our other roadblocks is everybody's at the lake and all the parking is restricted. So there's no place for people to park. So if you plan any events, you can't guarantee your guests or your paid customers are going to be able to park. So we're scrambling with that. That's the newest
challenges. But it's interesting about the appointments. Yeah, it seems like maybe you might even change hours a little bit to have that appointment, that special one-on-one time. I mean, that seems like a win-win. That's very interesting. So, so again, the craziness in the first couple months, which were when things were shut and so stressful, I'm sure for all of you with businesses of any kind. And then this funny thing happened with the outdoors and people really discovering it. And our sport, stand-up paddling, being one of the ones where, as you mentioned, naturally socially distant, out on the water. And suddenly there was this demand for boards, but shops were open only in certain capacities. Access to water was restricted. But you've ended up having a good last couple of months sales-wise, right?
Yeah, I want to say we've sold through pretty much everything that we were scared of when all this hit in March, and we've replenished, good 2 or 3 times since then. And it's been awesome. It's been awesome.
Well, that's the interesting thing. One of the things they're pushing, you and I are attending a virtual trade show for the first time in a couple weeks. And Surf Expo is saying, there's a need for inventory. Like, where are you, brands? If you have anything to offer, you should be coming to, setting up your booth. Again, it's online and virtual because stores are looking for it and they're in need. And we want to encourage people.
And if any of my brands, if you want me to see your stuff, get it on there. It's just like posting it on Instagram. It's I went through the tutorial yesterday. It looks super easy. It looks super doable. You got to get it out there.
Yeah. It seems like a good and interesting way to do it. So again, they're saying some of the things that we've done will continue on probably. So maybe a few of the things, I know we're going to post some pictures, and I saw one of you guys out cleaning those boards in the back. I mean, the actual physical labor has increased. And I also saw you unloading because of inventory turnover, and you're bringing in new stuff. So, so many changes we couldn't have predicted from, and still not knowing what the rest of the year looked like. I mean, you and I as racers, there's still races that maybe we're hanging on, they're canceling, like Carolina Cup just canceled yesterday. They are canceling,
but let's talk about virtual stuff. I mean, you've been able to participate in a lot of virtual events this year. And I wouldn't have been able to do the M2O. I wouldn't have been able to do the Amua Challenge or,
Yeah.
Stand Up for the Cure. We always do every year in Newport Beach, but it's kind of neat to
Yeah.
register for all those things because it gives you a goal to still go out and paddle.
Yeah.
So again, it puts me back on that participant bucket, that, putting that participant hat on. I'm not like a, diehard, I need to podium mode person, but
I think we're both. Yeah. And I like that carrot of something to work for. I love paddling, but it's easier in the terms of the training part to have something to be shooting for, even if it's a virtual race or a race against, myself and my own time. Yeah. There's some actual leagues. I don't know if you're in any of those where people are posting their time from all over the world. So it's been cool to make connections with Verity, who's on an island between England and mainland Europe, and around my age and faster than me. It's like, ooh, I would love to race you someday. It'd be super fun. And
that's awesome.
Goals for next year. I think once we are able to get together again, I think there's really going to be a lot of fun and joy and happiness in seeing each other in person. And we're getting to do some of that through the virtual and these kind of smaller group things, like you. Team Mom had your, like you just said, Stand Up for the Cure and those other ones. M2O was a special one. I think what did they end up having? People in so many countries because they made it. It's still 16 miles is no joke, but it's not the 32. It's not across this channel, which really I've done only as a relay is wild. And it's definitely something to work towards if you ever want to do it. But
done that. Yeah.
You're a relay though. I didn't do the whole thing on relay, but and the cost and all of that. So it gave people a chance to get a taste of it. We really tried to do it very much. Anthony Vela, our coach, had us have escort boats. We had the whole Hawaiian blessing at the beginning and all the things that he's done it numerous times, like that were really special about it. He tried to bring some of that, which really made it special, even though we're here on the California coast. So again,
that's really cool.
Experiences and the family feeling. Do you have anything on your bucket list? You're so busy with the store, I know, but places you'd like to go or lakes to explore? Have you hit all the lakes in Arizona even?
I haven't not hit all the lakes in Arizona. There are so many lakes in Arizona, but all of our local lakes, of course, I've hit all of those. But yeah, so to dispel any thoughts, Arizona and Phoenix, the greater Phoenix area, there are 6 bodies of water to paddle within an hour of the center of town. And there's 1 river and 5 lakes, and they're all amazing. They're all different too. So you've got one really windy lake that's predominantly windy. That's where we did the one race, the AYC race years ago, on the coldest day in Arizona, in the entire history of Arizona, mind you. That was the most ridiculous thing ever.
It was fun. It was an adventure.
But I do have a bucket list, like a road trip I really want to do, and that's just going up the eastern slope of the Sierras on the 395 and just hitting all of the lakes all the way up to Tahoe. I want to paddle Convict Lake. I want to paddle Mono Lake. Like those are so just visually so amazing looking. I've fished on Convict Lake. I actually had the biggest catch that time I went fishing there, like 23 trout or something crazy. But Mono Lake with this, I know the topography is so bizarre. Yeah. And it's always flat looking. Like it just looks so crazy. So, and then Lake Crowley is a family thing because my grandparents used to be camp hosts there every year until they retire or they couldn't do it anymore. And so I like that. I want to do that. I want to do a road trip and go up the eastern slope and hit every lake to Tahoe.
Super fun. So in terms of types of paddling, is there any stand-up paddle? There's some new offshoots definitely from it. Have you done whitewater before? Are you interested in trying foiling or winging or
Yeah, we've done a little whitewater. It's mild whitewater, but we've done whitewater to the point where you have to wear helmets and shoes and the protective gear. But that would be really fun if there was a consistent, close river flow. We have to travel if we need to do that now. So, foiling, yeah, that looks so rad. And with a wing, like, and they have inflatable wings, so they travel super easy. So that's next. Like, that's super, I'm excited about that. So
I know
we've
there's
already
only so
done it.
much time. Yeah.
I know, and there's only so much room in this store. It's like the bigger the purse, the more crap you carry, and that's like how I feel my store is. It's like if we get any more, anyway, I'm sorry, but
One that
yeah.
I've done some of and would love to do more of is kind of the expedition. I'm about to go on a camping trip where you actually, have everything with you and paddle to a place that's not accessible. And I
Yeah.
know, yeah, I mean, there's people doing these crazy long expedition and things. And it's funny, I've always said I'm not a distance paddler, but now a lot of them do include distance that 11
No, that's
cities tour
exactly
in
right.
Netherlands. And,
That was on our docket for 2020. We had all these experiences planned out. We were doing the Horseshoe Bend. We were doing the Lake Powell like weekend as an experience, and going down the Colorado River, doing a Tahoe road trip. We had all these things planned for
Mhm.
this year, and doing overnight camping was like a big part of that. And yeah, it all got
Well, next year you have lots going. You have an incredible store. You have your new second location, which is bigger, I assume. Is that why you moved, or a better
yeah,
spot?
yeah. It's just bigger. It's just a bigger spot. So we have more room. We have our showroom is the size of the whole space we had before, and we've
Mhm.
got double that in warehouse space. So we can park our trailer inside now, so we don't have to worry about that getting stolen again.
That was not good. Yeah,
Yeah,
a
that
sad
was
part of doing business is that kind of thing. Yeah.
going back through the
Mhm.
photos and looking at stuff. It was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. As you've added, what besides boards, you have a lot of other great stuff in your shop. So let's get back to kind of if anybody was interested in having the shop. What have you had from the beginning? You've mentioned some things that of course, carry, like safety equipment. What have you added? What have you found have been great sellers? Like, so besides boards, what do you have in the shop?
Yeah, just basically accessories that go with paddleboarding and the lifestyle of paddleboarding. So one of the things that we've carried for a long time, I guess, since we opened up the first location, was longboards and land paddling. So that was kind of a off-season paddling opportunity for people that didn't want to go paddle in the winter. And then that evolved into some electric skateboards. So those have been really fun. And I one wheel, so
Oh,
I
fun.
have a one wheel, and that's pretty cool. Yeah, let's hear it for women over 50.
Woohoo.
But yeah, no, it's a really fun lifestyle. It's a really good, fun thing to do. So it just kind of goes with the lifestyle. Let's see, we have life jackets for humans and dogs and all kinds of dry bags. So everything from a good basic, keep your phone and keys dry, to the full-on watershed, like professional type dry bag equipment and swimwear, the basic sunglasses, sunscreen,
I
waterproof floating phone cases are very
there you
popular.
I'll bet. Yeah. And I know you have a cool logo and stickers and such. Have you done that printed merchandise? Because when people become a part of something, they often want that something with a name on it. Did you do that from the beginning,
Not
and would
from
you
the
recommend it?
beginning. And yes, I would recommend it. I would definitely do a lot more of that. We have another run of t-shirts and apparel in the works right now. So I just actually talked to my printer this morning, so about another design. So that's cool. And we've been doing hats, a lot of hats. I need to order more hats.
Take notes as we talk. Yeah, go through these
Yeah, I
things
need to order more.
on
Um,
your to-do list. Yeah. So
yeah,
you did mention, and I mean, you talked about marketing, and I know social media, we've talked about this, such an important part of what you do, but you also have a love hate because you don't when you're out on the water, you'd rather not have it, you said? The
Yeah.
technology.
Yes.
So
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I think like many, you love the peace of paddling and like being out in nature and
Yeah. No, I
escaping.
know. So yeah, you just reminded me. We do sell waterproof speakers, um, but I prefer quiet. Like I like to listen to the waves lapping and whatever is hitting my board. But yeah, I'm not real big on playing music loud when I paddle.
Yeah.
If I ever want to, I'll just put some earplugs in. I've been working on a playlist for 7 years and I have not yet made it, so it's
Yeah, I
fine.
haven't done music while racing either. And usually I agree, I like the sounds of nature, but doing Chattajack, which was a 32 miler, I appreciated the people who came by or I
That
passed
had
either way that
noise.
had music going just like as a change of pace
Yeah,
and a
yeah,
distraction. But that's funny. I interpreted that as because you have to take pictures and videos and stuff so much, like that maybe
yeah,
it was your phone that you wished you could put away and just be at peace.
yeah, yeah. No, I do, but it's like it's that safety net, especially when I have a group. I do have to have my phone with me. It does make me feel secure, even if I don't use it though. Yeah. So I do want to divorce myself from it,
Hmm.
but most of the time when I'm on the water, it's not for me. So we're always doing other
Right.
things for others. So
Which is great. And I know people love getting that picture.
yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know it's good. It's so much fun, and
Yeah.
we're so lucky in Arizona because we have our season goes all the way through like November. I mean, we do a turkey burn paddle every year on Black Friday to boycott Black Friday and support small business. And last year was the first year we had to cancel it because of rain. But normally, I mean, it's amazing. It's like 70 degrees outside. The water's chilly, so if you fall in, you get right back on your board and paddle. But um, yeah, I own a wetsuit. It still has the tags on it from probably 3 or 4 years ago. And I remember when I first started and I did my first Hano Hano race, I had reached out to Maggie Adams. Thank you, Maggie. I'm like, I'm so scared with this race is in January and it's at the ocean or it's in the bay and I'm going to freeze. Like, how do you do this? Do I need a wetsuit? And I just barraged her with a million questions. And she was like, no, you'll be fine.
And you found out
So
you were.
yeah, and I fell in right at the start, right over that stupid storm drain, but I didn't get hurt. I was fine. And I paddled the whole race wet, and salt water is slippery. Like us freshwater folk, it dries. It's so arid here. The water dries really
Mm.
fast. So we
Oh,
paddling,
yeah.
your hands dry, but salt water takes a long time to evaporate. So
There
that
you
was
go.
amazing. So I learned a lot.
Lessons learned. Yes, every time
Yeah.
we go out. Well,
Yeah.
congratulations again to your store, and it's
Oh
always
gosh,
so great to
thank
talk to you and
you.
to see you, miss you. Hopefully, there'll be something like maybe even that we plan together or on the Colorado River.
Yes, no, that would be so amazing. Can you hear me okay? Because I did get interrupted on my phone call too.
Yeah, it made a funny little echo, but we're back. We're
Okay.
back. Yeah.
All right, good. No, yeah, thank you for the shop of the year thing. That was really, really cool. And there's so many people, like, thank you everybody that voted for us. There's a local community here, the Arizona Outdoor Adventures Group, and they were doing contests and they were really getting people
Oh,
involved, and
cool.
it was so awesome. It was so cool. So thank you everybody for your support. We're totally not worthy.
And oh, stop. If you're in the Phoenix area, you have a place to go and 5 lakes and a river to paddle, which is fantastic. Again, this is Supconnect, and I'm just here on Thursday, so I don't have anything to do with your getting your award of Shop of the Year, but you definitely deserved it. Remember that these are recorded, so please send people right over to IGTV where it's available right away or later on YouTube on Supconnect. And join us on Facebook too. Supconnect Live Discussions is the name of the group. And I'm going to post a bunch of pictures of places and things that we talked about today. And feel free to add anything. And then the links also to find out about Riverbound and about Teri and find her on social media channels, etc. and the website and
Yeah.
all, right? Well, thank you
awesome.
again.
Thank you. Thank
Have
you
a
very much.
fantastic day. Mwah.
Yeah, you
And thanks
too.
everybody
Bye.
for listening. Bye.